Hi guys! So today's video is going to be one that was inspired by Amy R. from Prairie Paper and Ink. I'll link her video at the end of this so you can check out hers, but I'm going to be using this brand new stamp set from Creative Vision Stamps, and it's called Stick With It, and you can see it has some really cute snail stamps there, and they are photopolymers, so they're not silicone, they're the better quality stamps, and these stamps are made in the USA. You can see there's a cute little snail there with the mailbox, and it says snail mail, worth the wait, take it slow, what's the rush, stick with it, and hang in there. And yes, this snail is supposed to be upside down, but you can use him either way. So the card that I already made earlier is with him hanging upside down, and I just colored him in real simple with some Copics, but what we're going to focus on is this background, so let's get into it. Alright, so what I've done is I've taken some glossy paper, and this is from the paper cut. And we're going to be using Distress Oxide inks. I didn't get any of the new colors yet, so this is what I have. Twisted Citron, Lucky Clover, and peeled paint. And we're going to do one at a time. I'm going to start with the peeled paint first, and we're just using our non-stick mat and just putting a little bit of that down, spraying it with our distress sprayer, and we're just going to get in there and get that all inky. Okay, and then what you can do is you're going to take your heat tool and dry that off. And you want to go back in and add some more and layer it up. And it's going to look like a hot mess. And you guys know I don't like doing messy projects, but when I started to get into this, it really is fun. And it comes out with this really neat texture. Now, any places that you think there's just too much ink, you can dab off. And we're going to wipe this up actually. And I'm just using any non-stick craft mat will work, or glass mat. So then we're going to go down with our second color, which I'm going to use Lucky Clover. Same thing. And just smush it in, layer it on. You know, we kind of want it to look like a leafy background. Oops. Now, the thing about the Distress Oxide inks is they go down and they are meant to look chalky when they dry. They dry back to this kind of pastel chalky look to them. So as you layer them, it is going to dry back. If you want it to look brighter, then I would not use the Distress Oxide inks. I would use regular Distress ink and use regular cardstock. But we're using this glossy cardstock because we're going to be using the Distress Glaze with this, and it'll bring all those colors back out and have them pop. Alright, and then the last color we're going to use is Twisted Citron. I think this is my favorite color, green. It's so bright and lime green. Now you can do these in any order. You can do them all three at the same time. It's up to you. That's the fun of playing with these. And a little bit goes a long way. And Amy did hers with blue inks. She did like an underwater scene with hers. So now I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to do all 3 colors here side by side to show you. And again, you want to use the glossy paper for this. You don't want to use watercolor paper unless you want to use regular Distress inks. This is specifically Distress Oxide inks on glossy paper for this method. All right, and I think that's pretty good there. Okay, so now it just looks like a really hot mess, and it's fine if you like a pastel muted backdrop, but we want to bring those colors back out. So what we're going to use is some Distress Glaze. I picked mine up at Hobby Lobby, and I used a coupon, so I got it 40% off, and I put my little Velcro dot on there so I can keep my sponges on there. So it's specifically for Distress Glaze. Now a little bit goes a long way, so you're just going to basically dab your sponge in there. You don't need to scoop out a whole bunch. You're just going to dab it in. A little bit goes on there, and you're just going to rub that on to the top of your glossy paper here, and it's like putting chapstick on there. I mean, that's what it feels like. Now I'm just going to do half so you guys can see the difference. And what this does is it brings out the glossiness of the paper. And we're just going to take a little paper towel and kind of burnish that in. But you'll see now all of your under layers of color is going to pop and come up. And your paper is back to being glossy and shiny, and it has all that dimension in it now. So just to show you guys, look at the difference between this side without the Distress Glaze, which is fine, but then this side with the Distress Glaze, it's much more brighter. The colors definitely pop more. What a big difference. We're just going to buff it in. Christina Warner uses this a lot on her videos too when she's doing the envelopes, and she decorates the envelopes to mail them out. Because what it's doing is it's locking in, it's putting a protective layer on your paper, and it's locking all of your inks in. And in this case, it's making your Distress Oxide inks not have that chalky look, but have a nice glossy finish to it. Alright, so we have this nice green background. So all I've done then is I have a card base made up, and then I have some of this kind of tropical paper that I got. It's from Stampin' Up, so I will link that for you guys. So there's some pretty neat designs on each side. And I think I'll use this side here. So I'm just going to cut that down to 5.5 by 4.25. Perfect. Just going to glue that down to our card panel. Oh, that side's pretty too. Oh, I might change my mind here. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to use the other side. It's prettier with the little flowers on there. Okay, and then what I did was I took these down and I cut them down to 2 3/4, which is basically half size. So there's the one I did earlier. And I have some adhesive foam, which I'm going to put down because the paper will warp from us heating it. So I'm going to put this down on the back side here. And I cut my adhesive foam down a little shorter so that it doesn't hang off the ends. And we are just going to glue that down to the center of our panel. Okay, and then I have some of the snails colored that I just simply colored with Copics, and then I outline the outside with mementos, and just gonna put those down. And then I have a couple sentiments here that I heat embossed on black paper with white heat embossing. This is Ranger's ultra fine heat emboss powder, white heat emboss powder. So I don't know if I want to do take it slow or stick with it. I think I'll do take it slow with this one and just kind of arrange them. I think they look kind of cute like that. Maybe I should do one like this, like he's going up the wall. Oh, that looks cute. Okay, so we'll do that. So we're going to glue this down. And I'm going to stretch this the whole way across here. I like how I measure everything out. I never measure anything. I just eyeball it and cut it. Don't forget, if you use code Nancy10 on Creative Vision's website, you will get 10% off your order of $20 or more before tax and shipping. And unfortunately, it does exclude custom stamps. But their custom stamps are great. So if you don't already have one, it's great to stamp on the back of your cards. Come on, glue. There we go. All right, so I'm going to stamp or put this guy right here. And then I'm going to hang this guy from the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to put a little stamping block on those to let them dry a second. And then I have from Gina Marie Designs these little, I don't know what they're called. They look like candy drops. They're matte and finished. So I'm going to use a couple of those in the green as well. Now, be careful when sticking them on this glossy cardstock because they will want to peel off because it's glossy. So I do have some multimedia matte glue that I'm going to use over here for them. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to use the orange ones because they match our little snail buddy. And then for these, I'm just going to put a little bit of the multi-matte down. Just to make sure they don't go anywhere. Alright, so there we go fun Distress Oxide background. Again, I will link Amy R's video. She's from Prairie Paper and Ink. It's her YouTube channel. And these are the 2 cards that we made using the new Stick With It stamp set from Creative Vision Stamps. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, post them below. And keep on stamping. Bye.